I don't look into mirrors after 2 a.m. anymore, because that's when they stop copying us correctly. 3 months ago, I watched my reflection blink before I did. Not after, before.
Subscribe,
And for
because
one
this story
horrible
starts
second,
strange.
It looked
The truth behind that
I
mirror
noticed.
is much darker than you
I still think about that expression, like something pretending to be human, suddenly realizing the disguise had slipped. My name is Mark Ellison. For 12 years, I worked as a behavioral analyst for the Merrill County Police Department. I studied murderers, liars, predators, people who could sit across from grieving families and fake sadness perfectly. I thought I understood what evil looked like. I was wrong. Evil doesn't always look violent. Sometimes, it looks familiar. It started with a video file buried deep inside the department evidence server. No audio, no timestamp, no case number. Just 47 seconds of footage from interrogation room 4. The room looked empty. Metal table, white walls, 2 chairs bolted to the floor, and the large one-way mirror covering almost the entire wall. At first, nothing happened. 30 seconds of silence. 30 seconds of absolutely nothing. Then, at exactly 31 seconds, an eye opened inside the mirror. Not attached to a face, not attached to a body. Just one human eye staring directly into the room, blinking once, then disappearing back into the glass. I replayed the footage 7 times. Every time, the eye appeared. Same second, same place. Watching, waiting. Like it knew eventually, someone would notice it. That should have been impossible. Behind the mirror was the observation room, and according to security logs, nobody entered that room the entire night. I brought the footage to Aaron Vale, digital evidence technician, 42 years old, chain smoker, always smelled like burnt coffee and wet wool. Aaron spent 4 hours analyzing the file. No edits, no hidden layers, no corruption, nothing fake. But the longer he watched it, the quieter he became. Finally, he leaned back from the monitor. His face looked gray. Then he asked me something strange. "Mark, do you remember what room 4 used to be?" I answered immediately. "An interrogation room." Aaron slowly shook his head. "No, before that." I opened my mouth to answer, and nothing came out. Not confusion, not forgetfulness. Blankness. Pure blankness. Like someone had reached into my skull and removed part of my memory by hand. Aaron stared at the dark monitor, then whispered, "There were people who worked in that room before us. They disappeared." I asked him what he meant. Aaron swallowed hard, then said quietly, "No records, no families, no photos, no fingerprints. It's like the building slowly erased them." The lights above us flickered. Once, twice. Then the monitor suddenly turned black, and for 1 second, I saw my reflection on the screen. Only it wasn't looking at me.
Are you sure you're remembering the name?
It was staring directly at Aaron. Then slowly, it turned its head toward me and smiled. Not a normal smile, a smile copied from memory. Too wide, too careful, like something learning what human happiness is supposed to look like. Then it raised one finger to its lips. "Be quiet." I shoved my chair backward so hard it hit the wall. The monitor returned instantly. Aaron looked terrified. His voice barely worked anymore. "You saw it too, didn't you?" I said nothing, because somewhere deep inside me, something had already started remembering. That night, I went back to room 4 alone. The building was almost empty. Rain hammered against the windows hard enough to sound like fists. The hallway lights buzzed overhead. Weak, cold, sickly yellow. I unlocked the interrogation room, stepped inside, and stood in front of the mirror. At first, there was only my reflection. Tired eyes, pale skin, a man slowly falling apart from lack of sleep. I remember staring into my own face, trying to convince myself I was imagining everything. Then my reflection smiled, before I did. Every muscle in my body locked instantly, because it wasn't delayed movement. It smiled first, slowly, patiently, like it had finally been left alone with me. Then my phone vibrated. Unknown number, one message. Don't let it learn your face. I looked back toward the mirror, and my reflection was gone. I was still standing there. I could feel my heartbeat, feel air moving in my lungs. But inside the glass, there was nothing. No reflection, no Mark Ellison, just the empty room behind me. Then something moved deep inside the darkness of the mirror. Tall, thin, wrong. Its body twitched unnaturally, like joints bending in directions they shouldn't. And where its face should have been, features kept shifting. Eyes moving too high, mouth stretching too wide, skin rearranging itself every few seconds, like something was trying to build my face from memory and failing. Then it spoke. Not through speakers, not through the room, inside my head. And it used my voice. Almost there. I ran. I actually ran. For the first time in my entire career, I ran from an empty room. The drive home felt endless. Rain swallowed the road completely, and every time I checked the rearview mirror, my face looked slightly different. Tiny changes,
Where did you go?
but enough to make my stomach turn. Eyes too deep, smile slightly wider, skin too smooth. Like something was redrawing me while I wasn't looking. When I got home, the television was already on. Black and white security footage filled the screen. My bedroom, filmed from the ceiling corner. I had never installed a camera in there. And on the bed, someone was lying under the blanket, completely still. I couldn't breathe. Then the figure slowly sat up, turned toward the camera, and smiled. It was me. Exactly me. Same scar, same hair, same exhausted eyes. But the smile looked hungry, like it had been waiting inside my apartment, wearing my face for a very long time. I ran into the bedroom. Nobody there, but the mattress was still warm and deeply pressed down, like someone had climbed out of bed seconds earlier. Then my phone vibrated again. Unknown number. It copies what people forget. And suddenly, the memories started bleeding through. A woman crying, white tile floors, blood running toward a drain. Someone screaming my name, a wedding ring sliding beneath a metal door, and my own voice whispering, "Please, make me forget what I did." I collapsed against the wall, because I didn't recognize the memory, but my body did. My body remembered all of it. The next morning, Aaron Vale was gone, not missing, gone. His desk empty, his computer removed. No employee records, no fingerprints in the database. Nothing. The captain stared at me like I was mentally ill. Mark, there has never been an Aaron Vale working here. But I remembered him. The cigarettes, the scar, the nervous tapping of his pen. I remembered everything. And that was when I understood the real horror. The thing in the mirror didn't kill people. It replaced them. First, the records disappeared. Then the memories. Then the person themselves. Like reality slowly corrected over the space they used to occupy. And once nobody remembered you anymore, you stopped existing. That was the true purpose of Room 4. Not interrogation. Replacement. Then the memories came back harder. A woman standing in the rain, dark hair stuck to her face, crying while she screamed at me.
Mark, if you sign that paper, you're killing me.
Nora, my wife. The name hit me so hard I dropped to my knees. I remembered her laugh, the smell of her shampoo, the tiny scar on her wrist. And suddenly, I remembered the worst part. I had signed the papers anyway. I found the hidden room beneath the old evidence archive that same night. White walls, one chair, one mirror. Hundreds of cassette tapes stacked floor to ceiling, each tape labeled with a name. Aaron Vale, Claire Hensley, Nora Bell, Mark Ellison. My tape was still warm. I played it and heard my own voice crying through the speakers. I agreed to memory removal. I agreed to identity separation. I agreed to erase Nora Bell from my consciousness. Then a long silence, broken breathing, and finally, my own voice whispering something that still makes me sick to hear. I don't want to remember the kind of man I really am. That was the moment I understood. The thing inside the mirror was not copying me. It was becoming the version of me I cut away. The guilt, the love, the grief, the human part. And what survived afterward was me, the empty version, the coward who chose peace over truth. The mirror darkened. Then Nora appeared inside it, older now, exhausted, but alive, standing beside my reflection. The other Mark, the version carrying everything I abandoned. He was holding her hand, and she led him. That hurt worse than fear because I realized he had stayed with her all this time, while I erased her just to survive. The mirror cracked. A voice echoed through the room. Memory reintegration in progress.
I know what I saw.
All I had to do was stay. Let the memories return. Let the pain come back. Become whole again. For 1 second, I almost did it.
Mirrors.
Then the real memories hit. Nora begging me not to sign. Men dragging her screaming through the hallway, her hand reaching toward me, and me standing completely still. Not fighting, not screaming, just watching. Because I was afraid. The pain felt alive, like something dead inside me was being forced awake.
Please.
Nora reached through the mirror. For 1 second, I could have pulled her back. I could have saved her. I could have finally become human again. But I stepped backward. Just 1 step. That was all it took. And Nora understood immediately. I watched the last hope leave her face forever. No anger, no tears, just disappointment. Like she finally understood what I truly was. The reflection looked at me, not with hatred, with pity. Then it stepped out of the mirror, wearing my face perfectly, and every painful memory vanished instantly. Nora disappeared. The mirror became whole again. The room fell silent, and I felt calm, completely calm. That was the most terrifying moment of my life, because I finally understood something horrible. Human beings can survive almost anything. pain, loss, guilt, grief. But remove those things completely, and what remains is no longer human. The next morning, everyone remembered me again. My badge worked, my office existed, my name returned to the system. And nobody mentioned Aaron, or Nora,
Don't forget
or
me.
Room 4.
I promise I will remember you.
But tonight,
no matter what happens.
while brushing my teeth, I looked into the bathroom mirror, and behind my reflection, Nora was standing in the darkness. I turned around. Nothing there. I looked back slowly. She was still inside the mirror, not crying, not angry, just watching me. Then she placed her hand gently on the shoulder of my reflection, and my reflection blinked before I did. That was when I finally understood the truth. I was never the man who walked out of Room 4. I was only what he left behind. And every night after 2 a.m., the thing wearing my face gets a little better at pretending to be human.